In September, Mathilde asked me if I'd be interested in going to Sweden to spend Christmas with her boyfriend, Marcus, or Finland to go dog sledding and see the auroras borealis. I said, let's do Finland. Mathilde found a tour operator called Scandinavia, and I booked a direct flight from Dallas to Frankfurt. Mathilde and I were so scared about the -8-degree high and -17-degree low temperatures that I went out and bought an Air Force Arctic snowsuit, liner and thermal underwears, gloves, socks, and a balaclava. At the last minute, I decided to buy this $40 puffer jacket. Luckily, the outfitter said they would provide all the Arctic gear, and all we needed was the liner and base layers. The next step was for me to wire 1,895 euros from my bank account to Michelle's, which took me 4 hours to do, and I could only wire $1,000 at a time. Michelle then figured out she'd made a mistake and I owed 2,256 euros. Mathilde asked me if I would be willing to take the train from Frankfurt to Saarbrück, since driving from Thionville to Frankfurt would take them 6 hours. Mathilde bought and emailed me a train ticket from Frankfurt to Saarbrücken. The Omicron variant of COVID was spreading like wildfire in Europe, and the UK had just locked down. To make matters worse, Michelle tested positive, was in isolation, and we didn't know if she'd be able to go to Ruka. A day before I was to fly, Michelle and Mathilde started texting me bon voyage. I reminded them I was flying out the next day. Germany's only entry requirement was proof of vaccination, which I had in the form of my CDC vaccination card. The French and Europeans use a digital health pass. Unbeknownst to me, I could have signed up for the French health pass. I woke up at 5 a.m. to finish packing my suitcase and arrive at the ticket counter 3 hours before takeoff as instructed. Then I got a text by American Airlines my flight was delayed, so I paid $65 for an Admirals Club day pass. The plane finally arrived, and when I was seated, I texted the girls I was finally on my way to Frankfurt. Before my trip, I called and verified I had international text and data. T-Mobile said to enable roaming. When I landed in Germany, to my horror, I didn't have service. I got off the plane, then played with the settings and manually chose a carrier. I texted the girls I had landed, had passed customs, collected my 2 suitcases, had taken the Skylink train to Terminal 1, and was now in the underground train station. Because my plane had been delayed and I was supposed to have landed in Frankfurt at 9:30 a.m., Mathilde had purchased a 10:30 a.m. train ticket, which I'd missed. Mathilde bought a new ticket for 12:30 p.m., emailed it to me, so I had a 90-minute layover with nowhere to sit. Tired and not speaking the language, I was afraid of getting on the wrong train, so I took pictures and sent them to Mathilde, who had lived in Germany, to confirm I was getting on the correct train. Sitting in the correct train and on my way to the border town of Saarbrücken, I thought I'd get some sleep, but I was too afraid of missing my station. At the Saarbrücken train station, Michelle was waiting for me. We put my 2 suitcases in a green Mini Cooper she'd borrowed from a friend, and we drove an hour to Thionville. I was happy to see my cousin Michelle, to be home in Thionville, and especially to see my little princess, Mathilde.